The benefits of intermittent fasting are insane. I'm talking weight loss, disease prevention, aging, and it is so simple. I mean, just don't eat from this time to this time. Easy, right? But what about exercise? Are you supposed to be doing that when you're fasting or after you started eating again? And how about autophagy? How do you make that happen? And the best, what exactly is the best fasting length for you personally? Well, guess what? We are going to discuss all of that today and hopefully change the way you attack your intermittent fasting to make it easier and way more successful. So first, let's dig into should you or should you not exercise in a fasted state? And the answer is 100% yes, you should definitely exercise in a fasted state. Now, some people, because of either medications or, to be honest, it just makes you feel terrible when you do it. And if that is you, do not worry about it. Please do not let that stop you from using intermittent fasting or exercise. But if this is something that you can make happen, it is ideal, and for several reasons. And that first reason being lactate. Lactate is a big deal. When we begin to do intense exercise, our bodies begin to produce lactate, which leads to lactic acid and that burning feeling when we're working out super hard. So what's cool about this isn't really the production of lactate, but the clearing of it. And studies show that being in a fasted state can help you clear lactate faster, which can help you perform longer without fuel. Because clearing lactate is actually turning it into glucose that we can use as fuel. This is part of what is called the Cori cycle, which is when we run out of glucose, our body begins to take other substrates to our liver, like lactate or protein, to begin to convert it into usable energy. And now this is a very efficient way to be able to create usable energy and help protect our bodies against choosing the proteins instead, when we become efficient at using the lactate instead of the protein. So we're actually telling our bodies that it needs to keep our muscle mass, which helps us keep a strong basal metabolic rate, and is the actual key to much easier fat loss. All right, up next, we have autophagy, and this one is huge. And it is the reason that a lot of people actually do intermittent fasting. It is pretty much like the cellular recycling of the body, where you get to tear down those old damaged cells and you get to rebuild brand new ones. And it is beautiful. It can slow the aging process. It can slow and even reverse some diseases. So we love it. But normally we would tell you, you have to be fasting for about 24 to 36 or more hours before you begin to see the benefits of autophagy. But I do have a trick for you, because that is cardio. Cardio can actually boost autophagy if you do it during your fasting window. And I love this because it actually only has to be light to moderate cardio, which is a pretty big deal, because anything extra like HIIT or anything intense is going to work the opposite. So we need to keep it kind of low, because all we want to do is kind of use up all of your available energy, and this is going to activate your AMPK, which is an energy sensor in your body. And once this is activated, it switches on that autophagy. It's crazy great. Which brings the question, are we supposed to exercise to feel the burn, to preserve our muscle mass, or are we supposed to take it down a few notches to turn on autophagy? Well, it is a very good question, and I think that we can definitely get the best of both worlds. So a few of each week, and you are going to be right where you want to be, and they really do make a difference. But I do have one suggestion. If you choose to do your muscle building workout in a fasted state, I do suggest that you do it towards the end of your fast, like right before you're about to break your fast, so you can begin your recovery with that first meal. I think that's super important. And here's a little insider trick also, is that green tea and black coffee, neither one will break your fast and will boost you into autophagy a little bit quicker. All right, the third and final thing today is really important, because this is where a lot of problems come up. You see, intermittent fasting is what's called a hormetic stressor, which means it's acute. And this is the important part. A hormetic stressor actually triggers a lot of cellular processes that enhance our overall health. It can slow aging and make us resilient to future stresses. So this is a totally healthy adaptive response, completely unlike your job stress, relationship, financial stressors, and even lack of sleep. More importantly, not everybody has the same capacity for stress, whether it's healthy or not. And if your stress bucket is already full, it might not be the right time for you to begin an intermittent fasting protocol, as it might just be adding more stress, which is never good. And if you're struggling with weight loss with your current fasting protocol, it might be time for you to reevaluate, maybe kind of schedule a new like best practice for where your life is right now. And it is always a good idea to be monitoring your cortisol and your testosterone levels, as well as your quality of your sleep and your energy levels, because if any of these start to get wonky, it is time to either take a break or maybe just lighten your fasting load a little bit until some of these things can kind of recover. Also, it is super easy in these situations to slip into a place where you're eating too few calories a day, which can cause a whole new set of problems. Of course, the benefits of intermittent fasting go way beyond autophagy and weight loss, because it can dramatically reduce your insulin levels. And this is outstanding even if you're not insulin resistant or even at risk of becoming insulin resistant. Anytime we can keep our insulin levels low and under control, we can help prevent future problems. And the thing that I love about intermittent fasting is that it can help reset leptin resistance. This is such a big deal. It doesn't get a lot of attention, but it can be one of the biggest problems with weight loss, because leptin is our hormone that makes us feel full. So when we start to become resistant to leptin, no matter what we eat, we're still gonna feel hungry. So you can eat a meal and have it be a great meal, even a meal that follows your plan, and an hour, maybe less afterwards, you're hungry again like you haven't even eaten. This can be a sign of leptin resistance, and it is such a big problem. I love this topic. It is worth probably a whole video on its own, so let me know in the comments if you would like to see that video. But anyway, it can also help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, and it can reset our digestive system. I love that. And of course, it's gonna improve our sleep, right? But another really big deal is it can reduce the likelihood of Alzheimer's disease, which is actually beginning to be called type 3 diabetes. That is so crazy to me. And finally, it actually does increase your human growth hormone, or your HGH, and that is definitely a fan favorite. But I know that all this can be very difficult to navigate on your own, and we do offer individualized coaching for just that reason. And there is a link you can click for more information on that. It's either in the first comment or in the description of this video, somewhere around here. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.